James Cronk is a performer with an eclectic resume. He has entertained on stage, on TV, and on radio. He has a particular passion for live entertainment, particularly Vancouver's theater under the stars. He first performed on the Malcolm Bowl stage in Greece. He liked it so much, he spent 5 more summers at the Bowl, including 2 of them as the lovable nerd Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors. He is currently the managing producer of Theater Under the Stars. It is my pleasure to welcome James Cronk to Studio 4 to tell us more about Tuts and other things.
Good morning. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Well, it was Tuts. You know, you just mentioned it about my summers when I was a kid, and I think that that's what makes Tuts so magical. So I had to come back and try to make sure that with a bunch of other wonderful people, that Tuts continues to provide those opportunities for young people. That's what Tuts is all about.
Well, it is, and rising stars.
Yeah.
All of that, and mentoring rising stars, the Jeff Hislops of the world,
Yes.
and many more, I'm sure.
Many more. And, you know, I think that what I learned when I was a kid, you know, in my 20s and spending summers at Theater on the Stars, is that it's a wonderful experience for everyone in the arts to get a chance to spend time at Malcolm Bowl. And it's been going on for 65 years, Theater on the Stars. We've been mentoring young people that have been going on to careers in the arts, so it's a wonderful place.
Well, Peter Burney wrote a great piece in the Weekend
Yes.
Province about Tuts and its history and all of that. Who started it?
Well, Malcolm Bowl has been around, you know, before even Theater on the Stars, but in the 40s, Tuts kind of was reinvented, the Theater on the Stars musical society, by a whole bunch of people that are still here today. And you know, they started putting on shows as an amateur theater troupe. It's been professional, it's been amateur, semi-professional, and for the last 65 seasons, we've been putting on now two shows a summer.
And there have been some bumps over the years,
Yes.
as I recall. It started with Shakespeare, is that right?
Yes.
Mostly Shakespeare,
Yes.
all Shakespeare?
Yes. Yeah, and then you know, before that time, military bands in the Bowl, and then Shakespeare, and then the very beginning plays from Broadway, and then now family musicals, which is so much more our message.
Sure, operettas too, right? Like Firefly.
Yeah, Mikado, all that kind of stuff. A lot of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Of course.
For many years.
Of course. So, did you fall off the stage, or what happened? 5 years at Malcolm Bowl, Tuts, and then where did you go?
Well, it didn't take me long to realize that I was not going to be able to buy any food as an actor. So, I quickly recognized the limits of my talents and decided to do some other things. But now I like being behind the scenes.
Okay,
in the office.
Donny Osmond seems to pay the bills. I don't know, but
Donny
you're
Osmond
right.
has hair and he has talent. So
Many of the artists I know and love, whether they can sing, they can dance, they're terribly talented, and they're poor.
Yes.
So then, what did you do after then?
Well, you know, I fell into my other passion. You know, I've always been a big believer that you need to do what you love. There's no doubt about it. And I loved performing, but I also love the golf business. So I got in the golf business for a long time, and I still actually dabble in that very much when I'm not in the summertime putting on Theater on the Stars. And so I get to balance those two lives, the golf world and the theater
Okay,
world.
and how's your game?
Terrible. You know?
Really? And you're in the biz?
Yeah, I'm in the business. You know, but I'm a sit behind the desk kind of golf guy.
Of course.
It's like anything. When you have spare time, you don't want to go out on the golf course. You're spending all your days there. So it's a great business to be around. But my game is getting worse every year.
Okay, so you like backstage happenings, and you also like what happens at the clubhouse. Why not?
Yes.
I haven't heard the Tiger Woods announcement this morning. Was it an announcement? Did you hear anything?
I just heard that it wasn't much of an announcement. It was his agent that's changing agencies. So Tiger, every time he speaks, I think the world wants to hear something exciting.
Well, sure. Is it his Achilles tendon? Is he quitting golf or whatever it is? So he's changing agents? That was the big sit-down interview?
But wouldn't you like us to be talking about some other golfers these days? I mean, you know, Rory McIlroy and everybody else. I mean, I'm getting a little tired of Tiger's routine.
There must be something in that Irish water. I just don't know. So, managing director of Tuts, what does that mean?
Well,
exactly?
producer, you know,
or producer.
Theater on the Stars, one of the unique and wonderful things about it is that it is made up of professionals and volunteers working together. So we have a company of about 300 people at the end of the day. 200 of them would be volunteers. So, you know, 99% of the kids on stage and the orchestra, the crew, everyone working in the front of house are all volunteers doing it for the love of it. And then mentoring them beside them, we have some wonderfully talented professionals from Vancouver's theater scene. So, you know, on
Fabulous.
stage, people like the Todd Talbots and the Bonnie Panches of the world and the Lauren Bowlers, working alongside a lot of young and up-and-coming kids who aspire to be on Broadway or to make their living in the arts.
Well, it's a great way to spend a summer, no question, especially if you're a kid. We have lots of stories from summer camp and things that happen at summer camp. Well, anybody who's performed at Tuts at a young age can tell you stories, right?
Yeah.
I know you won't, but...
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was telling a story the other day. You know, we just completed, I shouldn't even say this, but we just completed a huge renovation on Malcolm Bowl. We just received a wonderful gift from the city and from the federal government. Theatre on the Stars contributed money, so we've done $1 million renovation of Malcolm Bowl to keep it going for hopefully another 65 years. And I remember when we were doing Grease in '84, that a bunch of us one night seemed to get out and about, and we ended up graffitiing all over the stage wall before we opened, saying, but it was very terrible things like Danny loves Sandy, you know, and Rydell High rules, and you know, we were a bunch of nerds back then, to say the least. That was our version of vandalism, of mischief.
The thing you can't control with Tuts is the weather.
Yes. That's why they call it Theatre Under the Stars. There's no doubt about it. We get that all the time. Once a day, someone will call and say, so how do you cover it if it rains? Well, we don't.
You don't. You get blankets, you get bugs, you get whatever you want because you're in the park.
It's one of the unique things about it. It's very special.
And great theater this year, this season. Anything Goes and Bye Bye Birdie?
Yes. So the last few years, you know, you mentioned about some of the hiccups along the way. And in 2005, we struggled very much financially. What makes Theatre on the Stars unique, because we're not fully professional, is that we're not eligible for much of the grants that are out there, dwindling grants for arts groups.
You've noticed.
I've noticed. The good news is that 90% of our revenue comes from ticket sales. But one of the things that we've recognized and noticed is how much happy shows, fun shows, shows for kids, for families, get people singing and laughing and singing a tune out at the theater. That's our bread and butter. So Bye Bye Birdie and Anything Goes are two great shows for that.
Reno Sweeney?
Oh,
was he in Anything Goes?
What a wonderful part.
Moonface Martin?
Yeah, Moonface Martin.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the musical. I've seen it, but many people haven't. I'm sure. I don't know that no one's seen it, but...
I think that what a lot of people will recognize when they come and see Anything Goes, as often happens, is they'll have no idea that many wonderful songs came from that show. You know, Cole Porter. Oh, it just goes on and on and on.
It's lovely.
Yep.
All Through the Night.
Yep. Blow Gabriel Blow. I mean, there's so many great tunes. It's a wonderful show. Lots of tap. The other thing about Tuts that we get a chance to do because we have all these young kids is that they get to. You get a big stage with, you know, 20, 30, 40 kids on stage singing and dancing. You don't get to see that a lot these days, you know, to have huge casts and big orchestras. And Anything Goes is a great show for that.
It sure is. And I think I saw it the first time in New York. Hello.
Yes. Well, and a big resurgence now. You know, it's back on in New York on Broadway with Sutton Foster starring in the role. And so Anything Goes, like all the great musicals, have a bit of revival these days.
The lure of musicals, really. I put them in the car when I drive long distances.
Yes, yeah.
And sing along. No one else is in the car, you know. I
have a 7-year-old who we have to put on the Broadway channel on, you know, the satellite radio, and you know, it's music to my heart.
It makes the trip fly. So the essential story in Anything Goes.
Well, you know, it's a boat going on a cruise that's lacking in some talent, some interesting guests back in the day. You know, they wanted to have some exciting people to make sure that everyone else on the boat was having a good time. So, of course, like any great musical, there's a love story. There's conflict. There's two different girls. There's a gangster escaping the law. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything else. There's, you know, misunderstanding of who's who. It's the perfect script for a musical.
You can laugh, you can cry,
yes.
Whatever you want. Now, Bye Bye Birdie.
Yes. Oh.
Because Conrad Birdie, didn't he get drafted? That was it. That was the thing. It was kind of during the Elvis years.
That's right. It's kind of a little a mock-up, I guess, of the Elvis story. You know, Conrad is getting drafted into the Army, and it's a question of how does the agent get his due? How does he make sure that he doesn't go broke? And of course, once again, there's a love story. There's kids being kids, and one of the fun things about it is that you have all these references to teenagers and the trouble they're causing, and what is it about kids today? That great song, and we see a lot of our crowd giggling about that as they see the kids up on
kids
stage.
today.
Yeah.
La da da. I won't be singing.
Would you like a part?
Show.
I think I might have something for you.
Well, yeah. Sure, I can make a cameo as long as I don't have to sing, dance, or have any talent.
Yes.
I'd be perfect. Put on a happy face.
Yeah, so
That's
many
from
great.
Bye Bye Birdie, right?
Yes.
What did I ever see in him?
Yes. Yeah. One kiss. A lot of living.
A lot of living to do.
All kinds of great songs.
Great.
Fun story about that. Bye Bye Birdie, the movie version, many years ago, was filmed. Jason Alexander was in it. It kind of came and went very quickly, but it was filmed in Vancouver. And
really?
we actually, our choreographer, Shelley Stewart Hunt, was actually in the movie when it was here. So Bye Bye Birdie is got a Vancouver connection.
Great.
In that regard.
And it was a Tony-winning Broadway play, as I recall. I don't know how many Tonys, certainly won a Tony.
Yes, many.
So take me through the bumps at Malcolm Bowl. Wasn't there a fire once?
There was, 1982, yeah. The fire that kind of took down a little bit of the bowl, and that was a year around then that we actually did Jesus Christ Superstar on scaffolding outside the bowl, and then there was a wonderful fundraising event called The Spirit of Malcolm Bowl that was put on with some songs from all the various different shows that had been done to raise money to renovate the place. So that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's had many seasons, and then as I mentioned, in 2005 had a difficult weather the year before.
Right,
and
so it rained out, didn't it?
Yeah, it had a lot of shows that was
happening.
rained out. That's the risk. And we're in a nonprofit society that it's not like we have a whole bunch of money in the bank for a rainy summer. So we take it year to year.
It would be lovely if you did.
It would.
Delightful and lovely. So people can write checks, right?
Well, we had a big check.
Can you write checks aside from the government?
Oh, very much, please.
Theater Under the Stars. People like to donate to the arts, and they have memories of going to Malcolm Bowl and.
Well, we have a membership program, of course. $25, become a member, get a tax receipt. But a couple of major things have happened in the last couple of years. Number one is that we've, for the first time, secured a major season sponsor with TD, who have come on, who have a great desire to expose musical theater to young people. And one of the neat things is that for students, they can come to a show any night for $20. So they show up at the door, pay $20, get to see a show.
Okay, now what is the drill? If you're in the audience, what should you do? Should you bring sandwiches? What?
Well, the people that have been coming for many years, you see them all the time. They've got their picnic basket, they've got their blankets, their bug spray, they know the layering of the clothing. They sit on the hill, they have a picnic before the show, and then they move into their seats, or some of them just sit on the hill. And then the rookies, of course, the tourists that come in, they're wearing shorts and a T-shirt. They can't believe it gets cold at 9:30 at night. But over the last couple of years, we've added wonderful food by Butler Did It Catering, which has sushi and burgers. We have a bar now where you can have wine and beer, which makes the shows so much better, I can assure you. Coffee by Ethical Bean, all that kind of stuff. So now it's
it's an event because you've got that bard competing a little bit.
Well, we do, and they do such a wonderful job, and we've got to make sure that they're doing Shakespeare so well. We've got to make sure we do family musical theater.
Absolutely.
To the same level.
Now, if you wanted to be a stage manager, grow up to be an artistic director, a stage manager, learn how to costume, can you do that at Tuts as sort of a rising theater type?
Yeah, you bet. We have a mentorship program called Rising Stars, whereby we have various different positions where they work alongside a professional. Everything from follow spot operating to stage managing to being a performer. And you get to learn what it's like if you want to choose that for business. So we have lots of students, lots of kids that are getting their first experience at Theater on the Stars.
Yeah, I'm sure. Any desire on your part
to get back
to give up that golf
back
business?
On the boards?
I know you're on the board of Tuts and whatever, but any desire to be
Well,
singing a song?
you know,
Playing a
it would
nerd?
certainly make my mother happy if I got back up there, you know, but we'll see. I always said that one day I wanted to retire and get back on stage at that.
Okay,
so
well, we'll
I
see
got
if we
few
can
years
get you a
still.
part.
Yeah.
Okay, so Theatre Under the Stars, Malcolm Bowl, Stanley Park, obviously until August 20th, and it runs Bye Bye Birdie, anything goes in rep. Bye Bye Birdie, anything goes every other night.
Tickets from $19 to $44. Visit our website, and that's all you
Okay.
need.
Excellent, nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
James Cronk.